The living room, where the family meets to discuss issues, any issue which may be bothering one of the family members. That's what we do each and every Tuesday on WAC 90.1 FM with Ricardo Mitchell and DJ Aaron 868. We have casual conversations on serious topics, from sports to culture, mental health to economics, relationships to life lessons. Join us each and every Tuesday on WAC 90.1 FM. The Living Room, casual conversations on serious topics.
It is now 6 p.m. here in Trinidad and Tobago. I don't know what time it is where you are, but I'm glad to know you're locked on to the True Nation Station, WACK 90.1 FM, where we are
culture crazy.
First and foremost, let's kick this off as we always do, right? Must give thanks and praises to the Almighty for granting us the gift of life and seeing another day. No matter what time of day it is, you must always
give thanks.
Secondly, we must say thank you to those that went before us, and we are not just talking about our ancestors, the original inhabitants of Trinidad and Tobago, because we all know, accept, reiterate, and they say it with the chest that Columbus lied, but also to our brother in music, Tony Prescott, where the P this week stands for
perplexity.
Here now. Before I ask you that question, Ricardo, one of those Agouti stories came to mind. Right? How Agouti lost its tail.
Right.
You remember that one?
I remember that. I know it, but I can't remember what it is.
So basically, in a nutshell, is a story that talking about how all the horned animals had been invited to go on this boat ride. But Bear Dog had no horns and he was jealous.
Right.
So he colluded with Agouti to make some fake horns from cardboard, and he eventually made it on the boat ride. And he had been taken for, and I'm saying this music, I'm just talking off the top of my head, talking about he was mistaken for Shannon the goat. So I got to call our boat name, but the boat push off, music started play, and Agouti started ball out. There's a traitor on board, examine the horns.
Right.
And he keep going up and down, talking about there's a traitor on board, examine the horns. Eventually, the false horns of Mr. Dog were discovered and he was thrown overboard. And for that, the bite off the tail of the Agouti.
Crick, crack.
I don't know if somebody throw the dog overboard and to bite off a Agouti tail. That's how we find out that somebody was spying on the police.
Yeah. Aaron.
I come out swinging.
Aaron, how you does set up cameras next to cameras, and the cameras that you set up, your cameras next to didn't catch you setting it up, Aaron.
There's a traitor on board, examine the horns. So you know what we should change that to? There's another camera feed, examine the source. Hey.
Listen, perplexity. I've been thoroughly perplexed for the past, admittedly, several years. But you see, this week in particular, my breath has been taken away. I am blown away. I am.
Oh my gosh! Hey.
Let me ask you a question. As a man who pays attention and stuff, so on and so forth.
Sometimes I do.
Yeah. How they got thief policemen uniforms, Aaron, from the lockers, Aaron. How policemen literally men going with the shirt off the back, Aaron.
You know. This makes me wonder, who is guarding the guards?
Well, clearly not CCTV, because the compound from which the uniforms were appropriated had no CCTV, no coverage.
But I am so disturbed.
Perplexed, perhaps?
Perplexed by this security debacle.
The emphasis on the wrong syllable.
Exactly, because But for the life of me, I don't understand. Now, and I'm going to use an example here. As everybody know, I really like shoes. Right? After Carnival is when I just clean all my shoes, like, and put them outside to dry.
Right.
Okay, you know, you might go out 1-2 little Juve something, or you might go out a panorama and the dust in the shoes or whatever the case is. So I put my shoes out to dry. And a pair of my sneakers went missing. I launched a commission of inquiry in my neighborhood to find out where my one pair of sneakers went. But you tell me how much of a police uniform gone missing. You tell me how much of a millions gone from the treasury.
And auditor reports and thing, but anyway.
But we had no footage. We had no trace of where the document gone. We had no bank account where the money went. But if I go in the bank to deposit $10,000 in cash, you want to know why I get that? What if I win a little playway mark?
Right.
Now is the time to message you playway mark in the comments. What if I win a little cash pot?
Suppose I get a little end for my birthday.
Yeah, a real big end, boy.
Yeah, it's a real big deal. A big end is on par. But I am perplexed. First and foremost, for how we could be 6 minutes into the episode and we have not properly introduced the program or ourselves.
All right, we get carried away with that P word, boy.
Yeah, a perplexing evening, Aaron.
Yeah, boy. This is, if you don't know the program or the station you're listening to, this is The Living Room with yours truly, DJ Aaron 868. I remind you each and every time that culture is my code, alongside my bro with no fro but a lot of flow.
Ricardo Mitchell, the social sage of the global stage.
And this is The Living Room
Yeah,
on 90.1 FM.
So, now that we, get the housekeeping out of the way, yeah, I could understand that, in your personal residence, one might be more comfortable not having surveillance. Who knows what sort of activities or, just what your level of preferred privacy would be. But I paying for that though, if I'm not mistaken. That's not how it does go. The Prime Minister's residence is not funded by taxpayers' money.
Right. I am a little perplexed, as you would say. What is the purpose of the taxes that we pay in this country? Because when I started to work 15 years ago, that should give an indication. 15 years ago, I took up employment at my first ever place of work. Right? And at that point, that's when I started to pay PAYE. And in my mind, it's like, boy, I pay PAYE. I had to pay attention with the money spending now. Because once you're living under mommy and daddy roof, you ain't care about nothing about politics. You ain't care nothing about where the national budget going. But when you're a tax-paying citizen, all of a sudden,
right,
you want to be, as I learned today, you want to be cocksure as to where the money going. And I started to wonder, as we all know, how much I pay attention to the budget and how much percentage of it is recurrent expenditure and blah, 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 blah.
Right.
But really and truly, where we taxpayers' dollars going? Because, as you said, Ricardo, Auditor General report going missing. They are pilfering at the Prime Minister's residence. Now, I am not saying that the Prime Minister's residence is supposed to be above pilfering, because you're thieving from my yard, that don't mean you shouldn't thief from that yard.
Right. But there's no close hang up on the line, Aaron.
Exactly.
There's no close hang up on the line.
So you're telling me in this day and age, only 5 or 6 places in the country I could sit down here and find out what the traffic looking like? I should be able to view. Go ahead.
It depends on who you ask. Because apparently, it have men who are 60-something cameras.
Oh, right. I forget. I'm supposed to ask Timmy the Thief. Again, that's just alliteration, guys. If your name is Timmy, I'm not saying that you're a thief. I apologize in advance for any Timmys that listening to the station. But Timmy the Thief just sound like a nice piece of alliteration.
Vijay the Villain. That's also alliteration.
Frankie the Fraud.
Bruce the Bandit.
And we good to go there.
Because I realize we being sexist here. Okay, we ain't call a single
yeah, boy.
Thing, but let me leave that where it is.
Yeah, that's it. But really and truly, I think with the amount of people, the working population in Trinidad and Tobago, and the amount of taxes that are being collected, I honestly think that surveillance and maintenance should be two things which are more looked after. Because again, I should be able in the morning before I leave home 5:30 to go Port of Spain to go to work. Because you know, if I leave home at 5:44, that's too late, so I reach into work after 8. So when I leave home at 5:30, I should be able to go on my phone and look at a camera feed that will tell me what the status of the traffic is by Sugar on Us, or by Carney, or by Burriteria.
See what you did there. I have mixed feelings about it, admittedly, because maybe it's an Orwellian school of thought, but I believe that we trade our privacy for protection. We trade our secrecy for surveillance. Right? We believe that the more information we have is the better protected we are and can be. But based on the couple dozen years I out here, I've noticed that after you surveil, you record. And when you record, you document. After you document, you process. And after you process, you manage and then control. Ultimately, that is a pretty basic information chain, maybe a complicated information chain. But the premise is, from the time we start watching, it is inevitable that we're going to start finding ways to use it to control. It might sound, as I say, Orwellian, but that whole Brick Brother principle is legitimate. We've seen what happened in the States that don't do everything that it can to protect the rights of the citizens. We've seen what happens in China, case in point, where surveillance is top notch, and then they could tell you your vaccination status based on your gait, the way that you walk. Gait recognition is the next step after facial recognition, because just looking at the way that you walk, you could get it helps narrow down your biometrics in terms of your identification. And they could tell somebody's vaccination status and ban you from going into certain streets or leaving or going into certain places at certain times based on the level of vaccination that you had. Now, I'm not saying that to go conspiracy, brother, right? But what we're looking at is that after surveillance, right, it's inevitable that control is going to be an outcome. So when we look at Trinidad and Tobago now and we want more surveillance because how unsafe we're feeling, the question you have to ask yourself is, at what point in time have we stopped protecting our privacy and we surrendering it? Because there are people who are using our information.
But then let me piggyback on that with something else, with another point. Is it that as a content creator, our need for analytical data is also, as you just pointed out there, as you said, from surveillance to control? So like, look at it. We look at it from the individual level as a content creator, to then a brand, to then a national scale. So is it that now we need to diminish the amount of data that we as individuals produce so that we get back our quote-unquote freedom, and are using the controversial term there?
Yeah, I believe it's a little too late for that, in the sense that you cannot withdraw from our society or from our system unless you establish another one. Right? We used to, when we were younger, joke about boy, I feel like I'm gonna plant peas in Tobago, or boy, I feel like just one little piece of land I'm gonna live in the hills.
I am afraid I can't make the grade. Sorry.
But the bottom line is that we so interwoven into system that it would be hard for us to try to protect any of it now. It don't even make any sense. And it will is a good reflection of it is your national identification card is inadequate to perform the majority of tasks in the country that issue you your national identification card. Everybody wants a second form of photo ID and proof of address. So what's the point of the first form of ID?
You come back with this proof of address thing on a here now.
I'm just saying is that the whole point of this thing is to have as much of the information as possible to have you locked into a reliance on the system and thus being in debt to it. I understand why them hillbillies and them must come out with it. I do not recognize the United States of America government, and I am a citizen of the federal state of California or Texas or whenever they're doing the thing. I kind of starting to get it now. And because everything that we plug into costs us money. Everything costs us money. You have nothing that you could do pretty much off grid anymore. And that control, we saw it was utilized by states in the interest of people's security, but that was the big stick that the whole of our people had for the COVID stretch. You go can't walk if you don't get in line.
Yeah.
Alright, so I'm just saying that we do surrender control ultimately once we start surrendering information. And there's not conspiracy theory business. It's not conspiracy, brother. I'm saying that this is geopolitics, economics, world history. It right there.
No, and that's the thing, and like go down into it a little bit deeper, because for some reason I came into the living room today with the intent to talk about data.
Serious?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And look how the conversation steered us to the point of data, right?
Yeah. So you plug into the algorithm then.
Apparently, I take the blueprint.
You feel you wanted to talk about this. The things around you tell you to talk about this tonight.
Apparently, right? So like take it down to the more individual level, because I like to like keep it small scale before we go macro.
Yeah.
Right. So on the micro level, I'm a DJ.
Yeah.
I'll just use that as my job title for this one. Right. I'm a DJ. I put mixes out there.
Yeah.
I put mixes on SoundCloud. When it's done,
you no longer go on SoundCloud.
Yeah, I post one since the last Soup and Soca.
Yeah.
I think I post in Johnny King tribute tomorrow.
Okay, all right. I'll go and take hit my link now. I'll post it up.
Yeah. Right. So I post my mixes now. For me to know what type of mixes I want to post more of, I look at the data.
Yeah.
For me to know when I'm working live on air, what age or what depth of soca to play, I look at the numbers that are viewing.
Yeah.
And if I realize here what's going on, I play new soca and the numbers low, I might switch to older soca. So we are driven by data.
Yeah.
But if you don't use the data to your advantage, then you are basically I don't want to say eradicating, but you are diminishing the effect you can have on society because you're not using the targeted aspect of marketing or the targeted way of streamlining what the product or the services that you are putting forward to make sure that you reach people. Because if you just go out there to do what you want to do,
which is nothing is wrong with that, huh?
Nothing is wrong. Another disputing that, or they mention that.
That's the whole
perfectly fine.
That's one of the pillars of art.
But what I'm saying is, sometimes if you want people to hear what you want to do, sometimes you have to bait them in by doing what they want, by doing what they want to hear as a DJ. Because you can't go in a party, right? You can't come fiesta, a big thing like fiesta, and start off with a Barrington Levy.
You couldn't. It take a look good. You probably will not have to buy toilet paper the rest of the year
of your life. But the thing is, I was going to say Bob Marley, but I remember that Bob Marley sang a soca.
What?
Yes.
You serious? Because I watched
Yeah.
both documentaries the other day, so I know everything, you know.
Brother man, this is the one time I'll proudly say, Kenny teach me that Bob Marley sang a soca, Splish Splash.
Okay. It does not sound unfamiliar now that you say Splish Splash.
Right.
I was like, early.
Yeah, early Bob.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what I'm saying. So, if you go and you do a Bob Marley soca to kick off in Fiesta, you will get through because you have now done what the social media influencers and the marketing moguls say is you do something which is totally out of the box to capture people's attention. And then you follow that up with a Black Stallion and you score.
Right.
So you do what you want to do, which is the out of the box thing, and you use the Bob Marley that sing the soca back whenever, and then you do what everybody else know, which is the Black Stallion, and they go down the road. You have the crowd now. But if you, after the Bob Marley, you decide to go and play a Shensia, and then a Cayman, and then a Prince Swanee, I just call the names here of artists, you have now lost the people because you have done what you wanted to do in a market that does not appreciate it. Because your data is, honestly, you're in Fiesta, which is an environment that is built for soca or calypso. Why you go there to play dancehall?
Right. So you recognize the value of time and place.
Time and place now. So we're reaching to a point where you're using the data that is in front of you, the information, to make informed decisions. But remember now, when you making an informed decision, you are now informing somebody else as to the decision. So you are just a wheel in the cog. A cog in the wheel.
Cog in the wheel.
Thank
Well,
you.
actually, it kind of work that both work based on what it is you're saying as actually applicable. And yes, the thing is, if you do not adequately use information, then you allow yourself to be used by it. It's that simple. We in the information age, and I had said several years ago, and maybe if I was an academic, I would have published a paper and I would have been getting credit for it. But I had said that we were moving from the information age into a communication age, where because we would have so much information around us as the equivalent of goal line in the streets, and it will be our ability to draw attention to information or to express an idea adequately that would get it to stand out from other information. That would be the things that is valuable, because it's no longer information. Toddlers have the world history of information at the fingertips.
You ever watch a child, a adolescent even, use a cell phone?
It has happened a time or two in the past 15 or 20 years.
As opposed to when your dad was alive, Ricardo. Watching your dad use a cell phone.
No, Lord. better give my paint to watch dry or water to boil. But yeah.
And that's the example of it. We, I've gone some bad here. We, the elders of society,
just saying,
still learning how to functionally use certain technology on the thing that we use just to call people or send our WhatsApp.
Right.
Whereas these children now are able to do so much on a cell phone.
In all fairness, it's like learning another language, right? We had to learn how to use this form of technology, right? These kids grew up in it. It's innate to them. They the same way we had to go to classes to learn computer literacy. You think they're going to have to go to classes to learn computer literacy? They might need to go and learn how to use Excel, right? But computer literacy is something that I wouldn't say they're born with, but they're introduced to pretty much from the time they could blink and point. And now we're looking at the AI developments. If you don't know how to data prompt, if you don't know how to communicate with AI, then you're gonna be struggling and left behind, and you'll have to take classes to learn how to deal with AI accordingly. So learning how to prompt AI is going to be this generation's computer literate.
You remember when saying he was computer literate was a thing on a resume?
I'm telling you. What you could well,
You
boy,
could
I
use
only
a
know
computer?
all I know about is a fax machine and word processor, you know. So yeah, hire them. That's this what I'm saying. But these kids coming out with, they know how to do things that we didn't know how to do because they weren't available to us to do at the time.
And I'm going to say that you, and this is our thing, and I really want the listeners to take heed of this here. You remember when we start dial-up internet?
And somebody only pick up that phone while you're online.
Boy, or when you're trying to call in,
Mm-hmm.
and somebody pick up that phone.
Yeah.
No, and the thing is not just that. MSN Messenger, AOL, ICQ.
Let me drop an example here that will have you properly whelmed. Not overwhelmed, not underwhelmed, but adequately whelmed. Logging on to somebody's Wi-Fi era. Logging on to somebody's Wi-Fi. Let me show you the wildness for this, right? Just when we get the hang of keeping the little chit with the password somewhere handy, right? Or going and digging up behind people and them hutch to find the back of the box to pull up the password. Now people scanning barcodes. You could literally touch the little Wi-Fi button and scroll down and a little QR code will pop up.
Yeah.
And you don't even need a QR scanner to read it. The camera on your phone is going to recognize the QR code and ask if you want to join the Wi-Fi.
You know what shocked me, honestly?
Hopefully not actually digging up in the people on them internet box.
No. So
what I did, that was a pun.
I actually got that.
Electronics and shock and anyway, go on. As you will.
I changed my phone last year, right? Mm-hmm. Last year, let's say January or February, I changed my phone. And I had no choice but to upgrade my laptop last year, September.
Mm-hmm.
Hook up the laptop, whatever. And I had put in my Apple account.
Your Apple account?
My Apple account, right?
Mm-hmm.
When I think and reach back on work, I just see the laptop automatically connect to the Wi-Fi at work.
Yep.
Then when I reach in the radio station the night, it automatically connect. When I reach home and I open it the next morning, it automatically connect. I like, oh, what going on here?
Yeah. Them long time thing are taking days to transfer your information from device to device and telling people new number, who this and them kind of thing. I lost my SIM card.
Within 2 2s.
Yeah.
Not even 2 2s, 1 1s.
Within 1 1s. Who knows, you know?
Hey.
A single digit.
Yeah.
But and this is, as I say, it's being a perplexing time, right? Because it's a lot happening really quickly, and we have so much access to so much of that information that even if we could have taken the time to process everything, you wouldn't be able to do anything else except process information. Right? It is a difficult time. So what is happening now is you see again the competition for attention, which has always existed to some degree. Right? If you look at animals, it's brightly colored birds. If you look at marketing and advertising, as catchphrases is whatever it takes to get your attention. Right? Fashion exists because people want to be seen amongst the throngs. Right? I'm just saying that the competition for attention has existed. Throngs, I said it, THRONGS. Yeah, I see you watch me like I say tongues now. Yeah, let me see that throng. Remember the Cisco song, the Throng song? No? Anyway, moving on. Yeah, we in a situation where the competition for attention has actually gotten to a point where everything has to be sensational or it's invisible. And we're seeing that in journalism where everybody is in such a rush to go out first that nobody vetting stories, right? Things that are running by editors coming out with typos and misspelling and bad grammar. You're seeing it with music at the end of the day too. The more dramatic you could be with whatever you're delivering. Yeah.
As you bring up music,
Yeah.
there's a certain battle that is going on now.
Mm-hmm.
You see how fast response is coming out in this battle?
If you're talking about as a man call it DuckTales. Yeah, because one last name is Duckworth and the next one his name is Drake. So he calling it DuckTales now. It's actually pretty clever. Let me tell you about that particular beef in the rap world. One, J. Cole is very bright because
Very.
he does he shake the dust off his slippers early o'clock and say he getting out of it. But two, it's sad to see, and as I've gotten older, again, when I was younger, I might have had a greater appreciation, or maybe when I was thinking differently and aligned differently, I would have enjoyed, what is essentially two big hardback men pelting peacock for each other over these platforms. Right? It takes a
Example.
lot. Is a whole vibe, right? Great, but it sucks to watch black excellence at that level celebrated for fighting each other down and for attacking each other as viciously as they could, as cleverly as they could, but it's something about it just not sitting right with me. I'm no longer entertained by people who use the prowess to diminish other people as much as they can. It don't do anything for me. I am perplexed by the entertainment behind watching two of the most influential artists of our generation in the different capacities use their skill to try to bolster a fading empire, a fading industry by attacking and undermining each other. I perplexed.
No, the thing about it is music has always been a space where, for me, it's always music is a mission, not a competition.
Right? You should write that down. It have a little catch to it. I feel you could run with that. That's amazing.
Yeah, that I probably thieved that from somebody. Anyhow, source unknown. Right? So within all genres of music, there has always been a tit for tat. Kaiso, Extempo, dancehall, there was Mavado and Cartel. Probably before that it had whoever and whoever and whoever and whoever and whoever and whoever.
I find you say all forms of music and you only call the black forms.
Country music, I'm 100% sure.
You ever hear country music song clash?
That's real weird though. I actually don't think so.
Pop, rock and roll, you ever hear Red Hot Chili Peppers like warring on stage with Aerosmith?
No, they probably had like guitar battles.
Right. But what I'm saying, anyway, go ahead. Actively listening.
Now thinking about it, my point is mute.
Well, technically moot, but I get where you're going with it.
Yeah, pun intended.
Boy, well, you're on fire. Well defended. But yeah, so go on. All kinds of music. All forms of music, all art forms have ego.
I'm not going to say, and that one I'm going to say. I think, but what should be alluded to in this point is that all genres of music, there are the big name artists who would have had beef with other big name artists for whatever reason. And as the people who consume that music, sometimes we get caught up in it so much. Because I remember when Marshall and I had their beef, everybody was snapping it up.
Let me while you hear Aaron. Aaron, where's your top 3 karaoke tunes at all time to perform?
One, the greatest love song ever written in soca.
Dingole. Sorry, Fast Wine.
Fast Wine.
Right.
2, Usher Confessions, Part 2. And 3, Backstreet Boys, I Want It That Way.
Right. And the reason I pull you in this direction is because everybody know one of the biggest musical rivalries of the early thousands was Backstreet Boys
Well, in sync.
and NSYNC. Have you ever heard of a Backstreet Boys and NSYNC diss tape or
No.
mixtape?
It was the people. It was the people.
Right? What I'm saying is, it has never been commercialized as entertainment. It was a byproduct, not the product.
And I'm gonna say, and is the consumers that sometimes pick up these battles because the artists not even interested. Because behind closed doors, all of the artists, you know what they're doing?
Counting the coin.
Exactly.
Right? But what I'm saying is, Backstreet Boys and NSYNC. you ever see Christina Aguilera and Britney Spears sound clash or fight or drop a album? The closest thing to that you would see is Brandy and Monica. That Boy Is Mine, and that was a duet, right? So what I'm saying is, even the whole premise of competition being deliberate for entertainment and income, is only certain people you're seeing that happening with.
And that's the thing, Now the catch is, it is more appealing for consumers if the battle looks a certain way.
We're saying, so nobody wants to see Lindsay Lohan and Miley Cyrus going at each other.
I never call names, but
I just trying to figure out what is it trying to say by not saying it now. I'm perplexed here.
I still need to say, those who are eyes go see.
Yeah. Right. So I'm perplexed. But
A lot of
anyway, go ahead.
a lot of things actually have me perplexed, and one of the things, just on a lighter note, that have me perplexed: how you could rent out the Hazley Crawford Stadium for a football game but leave at least a third or more unusable.
I mean,
You didn't see photos from the Legends game on Friday?
so I want to salute whoever was responsible for the marketing of the Legends game, because I could not believe the level of turnout that they got for something that most people had no clue was going on. I don't know if I in a bubble, and thus the people that I know in bubbles as well, but the sheer number of people who only find out about that on Friday, it's astonishing. I would tell you that I've been listening to ads on radio talking about winning tickets to the Legends and not being aware of the fact that that was a thing happening in Trinidad that day.
I was pretty much aware of it. I don't know if my social media feed, a lot of persons were resharing and reposting and all these different things, but I was pretty much aware of it.
Prior to the event.
Yeah, at least a week before.
Okay.
Right.
Again,
And
maybe it's just my focus.
if I didn't have to work on Friday I would have gone.
Yeah. I mean, you're get on Friday. Friday was right where it was supposed to be.
Oh yeah. Sometimes there's no way you want to be is where it's supposed to be.
You should write that down. I'm
No.
not even kidding. I'm not even kidding. This did not know my guy. Write that down. Write that down.
So
Write it down.
I go ahead and make a point and I'm write it down.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I could make a point or two. But anyway, what I'm saying is, in terms of what it is we seeing happening here, I really believe the bread and circus concept now, that if you once people eaten and adequately distracted, Jed, you could do it as you want, but you could do what you want. Once people have food and entertainment, the people and them do business, right? Imagine the man go on Ghana for a couple of days and seeing that his house has been subject to larceny. Yeah, well done, sir. You know it is you go Africa, and then you go in India, and when you pull up your phone, it's like, boy, you wouldn't believe, boy, somebody going at my clothes from your house. You know what I mean? How you gonna feel?
Now my pretty shirts.
You wouldn't feel violated, Aaron?
As all well, honestly, I remember I started talking about the shoes.
Mm-hmm.
I really like that sneakers, you know.
But Aaron, I'm gonna put you on stage here. What size shoe you does wear, Aaron?
We really going down this road?
I know, I just saying, right, that it only has so many suspects in your zone. It only has so many suspects in your zone.
I know. I figured out and I figured out how to do it.
Mm.
Was I able to get it back? No.
Right. Would you want it back after knowing that they perhaps would have won it?
No.
Well, I say get to jam, boy.
After Carnival, boy.
Serious?
Yeah, by Juve. After Juve with all that water and paint and thing.
Oh, God.
Yeah, boy. That shoes never make it in the house, honestly.
I hear you.
And it's still there too.
But
so I guess toe jam is a deterrent to Timmy the thief.
I should not encourage you just now. That was on me.
Yeah.
How did football turn out though, by the way?
5-all.
Alright. So it was a legit
a goal fest.
A fat match then. Proper match.
Ken win over 40?
Well, I mean 40 and over, you're coming to watch people who over 40 and they let them run young boy and them get run out.
Very Kaka score a hat trick. We have a mutual friend, right?
Yeah.
The man went to take a picture with the legends, which was Cafu, Edmilson, Kaka, and Rivaldo. The man went to take a picture and say 3 great players and 3 World Cup winners. If he had stopped at 3 great players, I wouldn't have why him, you know.
Yeah.
That man never even smell a World Cup, you know. But there's something. I know we didn't hang our hats or wipe our feet.
But there's too much, right? Anyway.
But there's something that I have to address. Right? You see, poor administration and poor communication are 2 things I can't handle. Some weeks ago, March the 23rd to be specific, I would have went to the San Fernando City Corp to make a payment for the rental of our ground. A ground very close to Ricardo.
Right.
And there was a lot of back and forth for the corporation to ensure that the ground was fit for purpose, because we wanted it for a fet match, a football game. On the day of the game, when the players arrived, we realized that the far side of the ground had tractor marks in it. Mind you, this was in the heights of the dry season, rain and falling.
Right.
So it had tractor marks. So the ground is inundated and unable to be used. I went back to the corporation the following week. Well, I didn't even go back yet. I sent an email the Monday and attached a letter with pictures of the derelict and unusable field.
Right.
On Thursday, I went back into the corporation and dropped off the original receipt. So let's call that the end of March, the start of April, somewhere around there, right? To date, let me make sure and say the date, on the 14th of May, I have yet to receive a refund. When they told me that in 2 weeks I was going to get back my money. Every time I call the corporation, I can't get an answer. So to the San Fernando City Corporation. As a matter of fact, let me start from this angle first. For those that know me well, know I'm a proud citizen of the city of San Fernando. I advocate for San Fernando at almost every opportunity that I get in any forum. It is disheartening to me to know that me, who champion in San Fernando, want to do events for San Fernando to look better, can't even get proper communication to get back a refund for something that's supposed to be getting back. Those are the kind of instances that make you disillusioned to want to do work, to promote a city, to promote a venue, to promote anything. Because if the simple administration of a refund cannot be handled in a timely manner, what are we really doing?
Well, first, I'm pretty certain I meant to say undulating instead of inundated, but we can move on. And secondly, you don't have friends in City Hall?
I don't want to go down here now.
But that's my point. That's my point. That you can, and you choose not to, because at the end of the day, it's not supposed to be a situation where because of who I know, something is done.
Oh no, I don't send an email to the CEO.
Right. But you went through the proper channels.
And that's the thing. What I did was I exhausted the proper channels first.
Right.
When I realized that, wait now, I can't get no feedback there, I send me email.
Yeah, because now you have to highlight that your system is failing.
Right. And the only reason, honestly, I wanted to remain mute on this and talk about it after I get a refund to show the length of time. But the reason why I'm bringing this up is because these are the cries of the average man in Trinidad and Tobago when it comes to getting things done.
Yeah.
The ease of business in Trinidad and Tobago is abysmal. Imagine.
Aaron,
And
just tell me one thing that's working in this place now.
No, I'm going to draw a next example here. I had to assist a promoter with the licenses for the event. You telling me I had to go Superior to pay for an event in Point Fortin? There was a mix-up in the amount that I had to pay. And then the court in Point Fortin is telling me I need to go back to Superior to pay again to get a receipt to come back Point Fortin?
In 2024.
In 2024.
When they could video call Australia. Right? You see the level of technology that we're dealing with, Aaron? You could have a real-time conversation with somebody on the other side of the world. And I can make a payment for places that 10 miles apart as the crow flies.
Brother man, and that's my thing. That ease of doing business is a real deterrent. And I'm sorry that we had to bring this into the living room today after. But then again, we talking about things that perplex us.
I am confused.
In 2024, you telling me something, links. You telling me to have a limit for links? When people getting rubber cash in the road, I can't go and pay under $20 with links? Brother man, what stupidness you telling me?
Yeah, I also a little curious as to when something costs 99 cents, because everything must be 10.99 and them kind of thing.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But we are not 1 cent again. How come you're not seeing things at 95 cents?
This boy, if you're paying in cash or if you're paying with card?
Cash.
Oh, well, I actually quite.
How come a tin beef is not $42.95 or how much for a tin beef now? Because there's sir beef of the tin.
Sir beef à la ton.
Le ton de corps.
But really and truly, the ease of doing business, it is abysmal.
I still vex that man. I try to buy I tell him, man, give me $1 and empowerment state today and he had no one at all.
Can you what?
I telling you.
Where you was?
Sound away. I want to shine up the man too much.
No, but I still getting $2 for $1 though.
$1 for empowerment, boy.
You know what? You know what's the next social experiment I want to do? I go in and buy a pack of empowerments. And if I go somewhere and it's $3.50 for something, I'm going to hand the man $3 and a empowerment. I want to see if that is a one-way transaction.
Right. If give me empowerment or Bobby for my changes legal tender.
Exactly.
That is
because No, I really want to see, because really and truly, apparently this only work when I had to get changed.
Hey, it now crossed my mind, and it would be remiss of me to not do something that we had promised to do. Royalty for a night.
Well, I was ending off with that actually, but you could go ahead.
Oh, well, no, you go ahead, because I still going through the social media here. Royalty for a night 868 on Instagram to find the page and the post.
Right? No, but really and truly, see that ease of doing business? It should be now. And again, I don't want to monologue here, because we're getting close to the hour 7 p.m. where Mr. Desmond will be coming in with the big band. But I want to make it very clear. I cannot for the life of me understand why is it that we still see so many problems to get simple things done in Trinidad and Tobago without valid ID. And I understand the importance of valid identification, but you telling me if I live in my mother house, I need an authorization letter from my mother to use a utility bill where I live in?
So, all right, we're in a generation where if you're not in a multiple income home, the odds are you're not going to be able to afford your own property. Right? How am I supposed to get these utility bills?
No, well, I'm going to go even further. The most common bill that the average man in Trinidad and Tobago have now is a cell phone bill. How you telling me in 2024 I cannot use my cell phone bill as a utility bill? A cell phone is not a utility?
Because it's Trinidad, and unless there's an actual installation of something or another. Yeah, I remember when you're reading about people in papers now, they just have 3 and 4 names and multiple addresses. So you know what they'll accept apparently? Your internet bill. You know what they will not accept? A bank statement. So imagine these people who have control of all of my money and more information than my parents have about me. They are not a legitimate, they are not a recognized source when it comes to establishing my identity or my availability.
I don't understand it, Ricardo. I really don't understand it.
And hear this now, how people who need access to social services, right, like self-help and grants and that kind of thing, always apply for these things if you don't have a proof of address.
But you know what you could apply for without a proof of address?
What's that?
Or what you could do without a proof of address? You could go and make a donation to Royalty for a night.
Right.
Via various drop-off points. Let me tell you some of these drop-off points. You can do it at Boba and Brew, Gopal Lands in Marabella.
Right.
From Monday to Saturday from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. and Sundays from 11 to 7. In North at Wing It at 33 Aria Peter Avenue in Woodbrook from Monday to Saturday from 11 a.m. to 9 p.m.
Right.
In the East at Serena's Collection, that's number 6 Tunapuna Road in Tunapuna, from Monday to Friday 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. and Saturdays from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. In Central, you could go to Bubble Cups in Price Plaza, Monday to Friday from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. and Saturday from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. and Sundays from 1 to 7. Also in the North, but more on the West, is the Courtyard by Marriott Hotel, that's in Vedas Bay in Port of Spain, Sunday to Sunday from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. And also in the East, Hollis Avenue Drugs Limited, Ridgewood Plaza in Arima from Monday to Saturday from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. I sure while I was reading that, Ricardo had the artwork up.
Good. Yeah. I mean, I don't pull it up and I realize that you play smart and you read down instead of across now.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah.
And most importantly, you all know how much inside the living room Ricardo and I advocate for men. Right?
Yep.
So what we are petitioning is that there's an additional drive where they are trying to get 50 suits for young men
Yeah, it's the 50 suits in 10 days, where you can donate a suit suitable for a teenager for graduation at any of their drop-off locations, or you could donate funds towards the purchase of a suit. Right, I think this is running until the 19th of May. At least the 50 suits drive is running until the 19th of May. So we have another week or thereabouts to get this donation or this suits dropped off. Right, can we call off the banking details and that type of thing? Are we?
No. I don't go that far.
All right, cool. So I guess you guys could check out Yes She Can or Royalty for a Night, and pursue avenues with which you can support, through which you can support.
Yeah. And remember, the Ricardo and I will be at the Gulfview Community Center for the collection drive on the 7th or the 8th of June.
That'll be distribution.
Yeah, the distribution on the Gulfview. We'll be down there to lend our assistance as well.
Yeah, correct is right. Yeah, it's an interesting opportunity to continue paying forward and pouring back. I still remember borrowing, if I'm not mistaken, I think I borrowed my suit to go to graduation. And I'm trying to do the maths here, because if I'm not mistaken, I think it was Lando's suit I borrowed.
Which one of them? Which one of the graduation?
The first one I went to.
Oh, one of the two.
Why we didn't just leave that where it was? It had a reason that takes so long to upload that episode, but it's up now anyway. I borrowed. No, that was my second graduation. I borrowed a suit. Yeah, and that suit thing. It's serious. If you have any way you could help, don't be shy to do so. It goes a long way in terms of these young men getting a more mature sense of self.
Yep.
Yeah, BMT, not big man thing.
Yeah, and with that being said, guys, we are very perilously close to the hour 7 p.m. and Mr. Desmond is inside already, and he is waiting to come and play those tunes for you all tonight inside the big band. And I just want to end really quickly by saying thank you to everybody that is trying to improve the situation in Trinidad and Tobago and around the world and make it less perplexing.
Yeah, not bad. Hey, big up to the German. Apparently he finishes his cross-country trek. Big up you. And big up to the citizens who saw fit to accompany him to make sure that he got that there was a safety element, and to the citizens who decided to assist. And I actually saw Paolo Kernahan post about the fact that while there would have been people who were chasing clout and the little shine of being in the video and supporting because he's of his ethnicity, etc. As he pointed out, a lot of Trinidad and Tobago still has a lot of very hospitable, genuinely supportive and helpful people, and particularly the rural and village communities that you would have been passing through, you would have found many more pockets of that type of hospitality and support than one would probably get in the more urban areas. So big up you, youth man. At the end of the day, you never know, it might inspire Trini to go cross country somewhere else, and who knows. But at the end of the day, congratulations to the Trinbagonians who proved to be better citizens, or at least for the people who do any things that never going to make it to social media or to any other form of shine. God bless you. God bless you. Do the work even when nobody watching. I think that's what integrity is, right? But on that note, this is Ricardo Mitchell, the social sage on the global stage. Thanking you for joining us in the living room. Remember, guys, your glass is opaque. Regardless of how perplexing it might be, we don't know how much time remains. So whatever you're doing, be good and stay safe. Happy belated Mother's Day to all the mothers of Trinidad and Tobago and our listeners worldwide. And Aaron?
Yours truly, Aaron, it takes it. I remind you each and every time that culture is my code, and I tell you that love is the currency, so spend some today. Let somebody know you love them, guys. Mr. Desmond is up next with the big band. Catch me again on Friday. All right, keep it locked.
Like you're gonna name the show and then you couldn't remember what
The Friday Night Fete.
That's what it is. Keep it locked.